Good morning, Dr. Brad.
Hello, Curt.
Dr. Brad, I've noticed that
Hmm.
you're kind of looking oversaturated
A little bit.
in your video, and I was thinking you're beginning to look like what they do in Hollywood when God appears, is it gets this aura of
I'm gonna
light
get a
around him.
background that has that.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, how are you this morning? You well?
Doing well. I'm enjoying life.
Great. Today's a working session.
Hmm.
It's Saturday, July 27th.
Wow.
2004. We've been working to finish.
2000 and what?
Did I do that again? 2024.
There you go.
I got to tell you the story. So anyway, and this is a working session for those who don't know. Anyway, along with the 2004-24 thing. Oh, and we have our mugs, right? Because
We do.
I don't have my black one yet, but it should be here next week.
Subtle hint.
Anyway, what was I going to tell you? So how often, like, you write checks because you're a old country doctor and a classical gentleman, right? So you still use checks. I don't. I write about 1 or 2 checks a year, right?
Okay.
And the only reason I write them is generally to pay my water bill,
Right.
because for some reason the water company only takes because I've got this condo association and they do what's cheap, and that's the cheap way is to hire these people to handle it.
Yep.
Anyway, so I pay that, and otherwise I just have a box of checks that I have in a drawer over there, and every once in a while. So I know that I know they want a check to process my passport.
Right.
And so I have to write out a check, and I have a written check. So what do? I do the first thing I write is I write 2004 and 2024. And she says it's 2024. It's 2024. So I have to tear up the check. Right. I start out again and I get the date right. And then I said, how much is it? And who do I make it out to? So she says, you make it out to whatever it is, the Department of whatever. And of course, I write that in the money line instead of the title line. I said, if I was going to do something this stupid, I'd like to do it in private instead of in public, because I'm standing in a line.
I like that.
At this point, she's just laughing, right? I mean, it's just, so I tear up that check and I very carefully, which meant I had fairly good handwriting, very carefully write out the rest of it. But anyway.
You count that as writing 3 checks or writing 1 check?
Well, writing 3 and submitting 1.
That sounds good. Just finding out what the testimonial truth is, sir.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's so if I have an audience, sometimes I'm too, especially if it's a woman. I'm just being honest.
Just saying.
Just saying. I can get more interested in the audience than I am in what I'm doing, and I was getting her going, so this was the consequence.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. Clown world in real life. But if you laugh at yourself when you make mistakes, you tend to get other people to laugh with you. And
that's right.
As long as I'm spreading laughter, there's something good going on.
That's right.
All righty. So
we're working on the deliverables.
We're working on the deliverables. We are working in this particular case on a problem we discovered. We discovered, what is it, day before yesterday, Thursday night.
Yes.
And that we have a circular reasoning between reciprocity and truth.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, if you look at the question of reciprocity, it contains, it's the objective, right? So reciprocity is the test of most of the things we're asking about in law, right? That's right. So But reciprocity refers to or contains demonstrated interests
Yes,
and truthfulness, right? There's truth, right?
right.
Testifiability, really. And so the problem is that when we get down to truth, I'm trying to get down to where are we?
Wait, you're not sharing your screen again.
Yeah, I'm trying to frame the problem before I make you nauseous with all my scrolling.
Perfect.
Um, and so we are dealing when we're dealing with uh, uh, truth, we've included rationality and reciprocity.
Right.
You're rolling your eyes. Am I doing
I'm just stretching my eyeball muscles actually while you speak.
okay?
I'm doing a bit of like home.
The difference between that and like the little exorcist chick in your head, if your head starts spinning, I'm going to have a real problem with this conversation.
I will.
And I'm probably going to start screaming.
I'll make nauseated noises first.
As long as you don't do the head spinning thing, because that was really disturbing. I can't remember, when did that movie come out? 1969, 67? Exorcist.
I need to check. That's for the audience. It's for the edification of the audience.
Exorcist release. 73, so it was earlier than that. So I was 12, right? No, it was 12, 14. And I remember after watching that, my mother said, don't watch it because it's going to bother you.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to watch it. She says, don't read Mario Puzo's book, The Godfather, because there's some sexy stuff in there and it's going to stick with you. Right. And so what would I do? I watch The Exorcist and I read The Godfather. I mean, what the hell? I mean, that's what I'm going to, put the bait out there. Anyway. So that the whole head spinning thing, it really, I was just like, I could not get that out of my head for like 3 months. It was terrible. Because at the time it was new, right? I mean,
yes,
we're so used to this stuff now, but it's the same thing with if you sat and you saw the Star Wars opening scene where a ship comes over the top of you. The first time you saw that, it was like, oh my effing God, right?
Right.
It was unbelievable. Now, it's like it's everywhere. So you can't really convey these experiences. And there's a movie in the 1950s, which his name is escaping me, about this girl who's like divining for water, right, with her family. And they're using a divining rod, which is a Y-shaped piece of wood, right? I mean, you're old, you probably know what that means.
Curt's outing me to the audience.
I'm older than you are. What the hell? I just started out with darker hair in the first place, but though I'm starting to go gray over here now.
Oh my.
So she's divining a divining rod, and then like, well, there's no water here, and then she finds something, and it turns out it's not water, but it's supposed to be evil. So of course the guys dig it up, right? Turns out there's a disembodied head in this box.
Oh.
Right, and so they don't know it. That's not what they know. So they think it's treasure, right? Because it's all locked up and bounded. And so they bring it back. And of course, at night, the workmen, and we've forgotten this, we forget that when you ran a big house in history, the biggest problem of theft was your own staff, right? Your slaves and your staff. I mean, so that's why there's outside locks on the bedrooms of staff of the help, the house help, right? So in the house I was a little kid in, the third floor, the back of the third floor was all servants' quarters, but their locks were on the outside of the doors, right? And it's like a dormitory. They're small rooms, right? The locks are on the outside doors. Well, and then if you go and you look at these, why are all these fancy cabinets for linens and silvery and stuff? Because they locked them to keep it away from the servants stealing it, right? I mean, the servants were a constant threat of stuff. Anyway, so back in this movie, the guys take this box and they think there's going to be a treasure inside, and it turns out there's a disembodied head in there, and it talks to them and whatever. And so it causes them to go dig up his body.
Oh no.
And then his body carries the head around by the hair and it looks in windows to see what's going on. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I couldn't look out I don't know how old I was. I mean, it was probably 8 or 7 or something. I'm like, I couldn't look out a window at dark for like 6 months, maybe a year. I don't know.
That's a scar.
Anyway, so how the hell did I get onto that subject? I have no fucking idea.
I do. I have a clue, but I won't share it with you because you might go down the rabbit hole some more.
Anyway, so we've got this problem is that technically speaking, we're trying to build from the first principles to demonstrated interests,
Yes.
to reciprocity, to truth, and to anything else we decide to put after that. But the way I've constructed this is as social science from behavioral science, from the concept of reciprocity outward.
Yes.
Right? So the reciprocity is what's measurable, right? We can observe that, right?
Right.
And then once we can observe reciprocity, we can observe what people retaliate against, both what they act in favor and retaliate against. That gives us demonstrated interests.
Yes.
And then when we look at what else does it cause it? That's the material part. That's the imposition cost. But the second thing is the truth of it, right? I mean, how truthful are you being in any
Right. In your narrative presented, justifying your actions in the past.
Correct. So you've got this problem of justificationism, right? Which is your questionably truthful truth, and where humans didn't evolve to tell the truth. Matter of fact, we evolved to negotiate to get our advantage. We didn't evolve to tell the truth. That's why I mean, I'm the first guy that I know of that's actually solved the whole problem. I mean, there's been the correspondence theory of truth, and if you look up truth in the literature, the philosophical literature, just go to Stanford Encyclopedia, or just go to Wikipedia and you look at all the variances, the definitions of truth, and right, they're all contextual. They're not universal. And
right.
so you get to, so now we're trying to get out truth now, but part of truth is saying the reciprocal. In other words, it's true. You're in other words, are you saying it's true because it's moral, right? I mean, it can't be true if it's immoral, so to speak, if that's part of your claim. So if you're making a truth claim that has a morality claim, then you're also including the reciprocal. So we have this interesting problem of whichever thing we're prioritizing, the laws, like the laws of the universe and how they're constructed, or we're starting with ethics first out, or we're starting from truth down into reciprocity and demonstrated interest. We can start from each point of this triangle, the truth, the reciprocity, or the science. Right? We can start from all three of these points, which is very similar to the problem we had in choosing how to describe this, because I wanted to talk about the logics or morality or first principles, right? So it's the same exact problem, truth being logics, etc. So how you look at this. So now we're sitting in this problem. How do we handle this issue of recursion? In other words, of a circular logic, circular dependency. I gave you something to think about there, and I'm wondering what
Okay, so it's you said truth, reciprocity, and science, okay? Yes. And I'd say let's go to testimony, reciprocity, and science. And now you've reconstructed the ternary logics of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
In the ternary operation of the Western civilization.
Yep.
Because what you say is feminine, the reciprocity is the agreement made, and the science is unnegotiable.
Mm-hmm. I'm making a note.
I know. So it's not a circle, it's a triangle.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say reciprocity was? The neutral
Which is the agreement.
agreement. And science is the science is the
These are endpoints of the ternary system.
yeah, you called science the uncontestable,
Yeah, it's not
non-negotiable. I don't know.
yes.
All right. So we keep having this problem of trying to describe in a sequence and in a hierarchy a problem that's ternary, right? And this has been the problem. This has been the big problem I faced all along.
Yes.
Which is communication is serialized.
Yes.
Right, and since communicate is process of continuous recursive disambiguation. But as we said 1,000 times, you can't talk about anything without talking about everything.
Right.
Right, and so we have this problem of this wanting to state it, probably science. I want to state it science reciprocity testimony, but we could just make it reciprocity and put everything in it. But then it would be this one long
right
monstrous thing we're trying to avoid because we're trying to separate the tests.
Yes, that's why I like it like that. I think this is good. The issue is the reason it's recumbent is because it's there are three variables and they're all utilize each other in their definitional functions,
Right,
and it's just unavoidable.
so it's not a problem, it's a necessary consequence. Right.
Yeah, I think so. I think to break it down like we're doing is about as good as it can get.
About as good as it can be. All right. Now, we were working Thursday night and I was tired and I'm like, I could not. I'm like, my brain is giving off little sparks and smoke.
Yes.
Talking to you this morning, it's like obvious, right? So it's just don't do it. You can't do this show when you're tired. All right. All right, so I suppose what we'd like to do then is share the screen.
Yeah.
And then talk about where we are in, cover again where we are in truth and reciprocity. And then I think we're good, right? Because we've admitted or we've come to terms with it. The only thing I'm wondering is if we begin with it. In other words, we begin with what we just said.
Ah, that sounds like a good introduction to the
I think that's a good introduction.
section, right? A section title and then a brief introductory passage.
Yes, I think that's probably how we solve it. I haven't shared my screen yet, have I?
Not yet. Was I remiss in some fashion, sir?
You were remiss? I thought you were brilliant. What are you talking about?
Oh, I forgot to remind you.
Oh, that's okay.
This time.
This time. I didn't get too far down the rat hole this time. There we go. Now we're set. Are you laughing at me again? Brad, you know,
I was just laughing. It's not a rat hole, it's a rabbit warren.
Revoy. You spent a lot of time making fun of me. Did you know that?
I do my best.
I try to make fun of you, but you're perfect, so it doesn't work.
Oh my.
Like that? Did you like that?
A little bit rude. Okay, that's it.
Whoops. See, okay, look, there's a format this way. There's a
Yep.
format this way, right?
Yeah.
This is like for characters, right? Or whatever.
Okay.
And then there's this kind of format, right?
Yes.
And then there's this kind of format. And
Boy,
I'm
oh
like,
boy.
look, this is a lot for me, okay? I'm a user interface guy, and this just is exasperating every time. All right. I'm gonna do boom, 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 boom. No, it might key my visual to it.
There you go.
All right.
Which is quite interesting. You know, it's like this triangle construct. So I was thinking this, you had ternary logic is a good place to place the Greek letter delta.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And it's like the interesting function of it is delta is a symbol for change in physics, which is kind of, you know, chemistry, physics.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
What happened here?
Nothing.
I thought I tried to do. Oh no, that was for that. Okay. All right.
Where we were.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, where we were.
We haven't done all this, but we could do it here too.
Yes.
I was worried it would be confusing, strong, supportive, and weak with feminine, masculine equality. So I don't know. So Brad, you said you're going to vote for Harris. Is that what you said?
I did. Mostly to get a rise out of you. We see what happens. I like to lie to any pollster. I think that's always a good policy to mess their brains up. Just sow confusion among the enemy.
Okay, so we're in reciprocity. We've referred to demonstrated interests. We said testimonial trust. Testimonial too. Will be consistent. Vanity. Did I make these italic? Yes, I did.
Okay.
You know, I know what people, sorry, I'm going through this. What people say, well, you just have that list. But I mean, the point of the list is it's a checklist. And you might think this is hard to do, but it's really not. You just go through the freaking checklist, and it eventually becomes an intuition.
Yes.
Like you'll see our guys say stuff all the time that violates parsimony, it violates full accounting, it violates, right? And most of the time, what's happening is not, it's not always. Most of the time is lying, right? It's not even a problem of truth, it's a problem of lying. And then when it's lying, most of the time it's, excuse me, when you're trying to tell the truth, people don't know how to test it themselves. So, you just become, it's like we could write a test for this, and you give 20 examples of every one of the parameters here,
Right.
right? And we can teach an AI do it, so we could probably teach your average American do it. Well, maybe not the average American. All right, anyway. All right, so we're gonna go over this. So what we're down to the not the tests of consistency and correspondence, right? That's what we're doing. We're now testing the construction, which is whether it's fully accounted within stated
But I
limits.
would put that in there then, if it's tests of construction, right?
Yeah. But do I have to outdent that now?
Maybe.
Testifiability.
So it's like, it's various tests, right?
These are, yeah, these are core. These are rational and reciprocal. Let me make sure it's at the same level. Is it rational, reciprocal, empirical logic? Yeah, those are testifiable dimensions of reality. And this is, how are these different? This is about your words themselves.
It's a construction of the testimony, right?
Testifiability. Demand for tests.
Correspondence.
Yeah, hold on a second. It's with the world.
Yes.
And these are. And consisting of.
Of that testimony, right?
It's measurements. It's something to do with coherence. About your words themselves.
The testimony.
Well, your testimony, oh, wait a minute.
Should that set be outdated one?
Hmm?
I'm wondering if that should be.
Yeah, I just didn't get there yet.
I understand.
And the reason I'll show you in a second. These are tests of you. What I'm basically trying to figure out is, here's a test. These are tests of measurement, right?
Okay.
Right. So the problem is, where does this? See, one more out is there, so you're right. I should have just said, Brad's always right, right? Shouldn't I just assume Brad is
Well-
always right?
Might be a good assumption.
Huh?
Might be a good assumption.
If I do this, I get that.
Pardon me for a moment.
Sure.
Goodness gracious. One's testimony. There you go.
Oh, hell.
You missed the parentheses. There you go.
Yeah, sometimes we get the wrong hole.
Oh my.
Caught you with that one, huh?
Yes, a little bit. Rabbit warrens being what they are.
You're such a respectable gentleman, and I abuse it with such consistency.
With such regularity.
I'm wondering if it's some psychological thing, like I always had to be the respectable one.
That
Now that I've got an excuse where that you can be the respectable one, I've tried to make up for a lifetime of oppression. Is that what? Something like that.
We prefer to call it civilization, sir.
It's domestication, civilization.
Yes.
The degree to which I spoke rarely when I was under 35 and the degree with which I speak voluminously is something I wish people could experience.
Right.
All right, so we've got that fully accounted within stated limits. So we haven't finished that. Surviving.
Right.
This has got to be all. I don't know how I misspelled that one. Okay. All right, so all we've got to do is really this here, because we've sort of solved the circular problem by simply explaining it. And we have solved the this is really, is this all warrantability? I think we're warranting what we're claiming here. And we're warranting it's just limits.
It's within the limits. Yes.
Okay, now I feel better. I know I've used this term before many times.
Yes.
I will not be anchored by my priors, because then Brad will eventually find out what my priors were and make me feel stupid about my anchoring in my priors. Did I just? I'm having fun with you this morning.
We call it projection.
Okay. The limits of viability. This is already up there. Warrantability. Is it possible to warranty? Are you, is it possible to warranty?
Within the scope of possibility, right?
Mm,
Which is interesting because it's like there's no way to warranty the claims about climate change
no.
or the demands placed on the society for against the claim of climate change.
And this conversely, you're warranting if the warranty is broken. If
Ah, so it's accountability, responsibility, right?
I want to get that in there. What does accountability mean in this context? Is it enforceable? No. Have I accepted?
Liability.
Are these what
They look the same to me, accountability and responsibility. you will be held responsible, which is your accountability.
You know, this is social. This is material.
Okay.
So in this, in the context, I love being able to be lazy.
Nice.
Duty. Okay. To do, this is what we're looking at. This is liability. Consequences. We go the opposite direction. Look at that. Oh,
You should have brought that other bullet point up there.
which one?
Can you pay?
Where should I put it? That's right. This is what it is, right?
Um, the question is, responsibilities can you pay is a material limit of your capacity to perform the duty. Accountability is, will we hold you responsible?
Responsibility is given, right? In other words, this is a given. Well,
You may not be able to perform the duty.
so this is your responsibility, your warranty. Right?
Okay, so that's my
that-
guarantee.
Yeah,
You must be able to pay then.
right. So we have that's what it is. You're so good. You know, not just another pretty face.
Oh, that was good.
We knew we had it, you know, it's just a matter of doing the grunt work.
Yes.
Liability. Define liability, make sure I haven't got something out. Define liability. Mm. Mm. Just want to define liability here.
That's it up there. Legal requirement to answer for the harm caused and provide compensation or restitution.
A liability is see, when they bring up legal requirement, that's because the AI is trained this way. The liability is natural. It exists prior to law. You make people liable,
Yes.
right? So it's liability.
It's a social demand.
Yeah. I think I'm just redundant. This is redundant.
Yes, I don't think that's
I think this is the real problem. I think this is the problem. No, that's not it. Damn it. Portability and liability. Oh, I see. Duty. Accountability. Responsibility, duty, accountability. Restitution. Responsibility, accountability. I think that's okay.
Okay.
Claims. Fitness for purpose. Yeah, temporarily. Right, that's right.
Yeah.
The problem is it's circular, it says responsibility for consequences down here, and I'm like, that's just circular.
Yes. The interesting function is there's a temporal issue there, okay?
Mhm.
Which is there's before, during, and after. The testimony is during, and it's about something before and claiming something after,
Yes.
or claiming something before, and there's different functions that are occurring based on those temporal functions.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to fit that in. Let's do that again because I was smart. So before is what? The
You
condition?
had some conditions that you're testifying about, and you may not be telling the truth about it or the whole truth, which is that's a liability you're assuming because you haven't told the whole truth. Then there's the testimony itself, which is during, and then after there's consequences that may occur because of what you said that you have liability for, both before and after.
This is during, right? There's, well, what's the before? The event?
Oh, no, the testimony is about something, is about the conditions, right?
Right. There are some conditions, there's context, right?
The conditions pre-exist, right?
Conditions pre-exist. So you're saying
That's before.
given some conditions. No, circumstance.
Okay. It goes to during, right? Because some of the conditions and circumstances are verbs or actions that are occurring.
I like this, Brad.
You do? Or you don't?
I do.
Good, I do too. And then the issue is interesting that the testimony has liability for what it said about what is the current conditions, but also has the testimony has responsibility for the sequelae if you're not right.
Sequelae? Sequelae.
You're going to give testimony.
Yep.
What if you're wrong?
Yes.
Sequelae. That's after. S-E. S-E.
What?
S-E-quelae. L-L-A-E.
Did you just teach me a new word?
Think so.
Well, I was gonna say no. Oh, another medical term. Like condition there are consequences or estimates of previous disease or medical intervention they are. Ooh. Externality, including externalities. And we've done externalities up here.
Yes. So the current condition contains the externalities to be imposed by the proposal, right? There's a proposal, intervention.
Yep.
Well, really, testimony doesn't have to have that, but it can.
Well, I think this is the problem of the dependency between testimony and reciprocity, because here's a demonstrated versus others. I think this goes here.
Okay. Yes. What's amazing to me is how dense this little document is.
Let's see.
It's high density because each term contains a spring that's loaded in there.
Yeah. I think this is in processes.
Yes.
Science. I don't like that. This is great.
Huh.
And I know how I define it.
Very interesting because what I regard this as a suggestion machine. It's like this. It's a reproducibility function, you know?
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. Yes.
Funny how Rudyard refers to me as Darwinian.
It is interesting.
Oh, I am a Darwinian.
You're post-Darwinian.
It's like being called a materialist. Right?
No, but it's like this. It's no, it's like this. It's like it's an error. It's like see, the postmodernists are not modernists, right?
Yes, that's right.
You're post-Darwinian
Yeah.
thinker.
Where's least cost?
Yeah, lowest risk is lowest cost. Fit in there. That's the same thing, right? Lowest effort. It's okay.
Better returns, I understand. I get this.
What about it? Oh, I see. I see. Given preference of field, right.
Am I putting periods on these things or no? Yeah, I guess I am. If it's a sentence, I am. Is this new? Exit conditions. Possibility. Tendency toward. I don't know. I don't like that.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I would say including a performance of due diligence, including all those things below, and then indent the two subsets. Then get rid of the floor. Yeah.
not just a pretty face.
Thank you, Curt.
Now this goes here.
Yes. That's nice. Due diligence should be capitalized to diligence. Thank you.
See, the problem is past. See, conservatives tend to think that we owe a debt to those who came before us.
Okay,
Progressives don't.
okay. What does that mean?
I'm trying to figure out how to put that in here. As far as I can tell,
So it's preservation of capital, right?
so that's capital versus consumption, right? So going,
Capital past is preserved in the present, right? Capital past is not meaningful because it's like,
right, capital past.
yeah. Or it has been consumed, right?
Well, I mean,
Yes. So the issue being, this is quite interesting, is the progressives don't value capital present.
no, they just value consumption. Wait a minute, say it again. Are you wrong? I might be wrong. I misunderstood.
The progressives don't value capital present. And they promise capital future, which can be a lie. And they take no liability for the difference.
I think they don't value consumption present. Conservatives tend to always favor capital preservation, and progressives always favor consumption preservation. I'm not sure there's any time dimension to it, but you might, it's very possible you're seeing something I'm not.
Wait, I will repeat, okay? Conservatives value capital preservation. So that's present capital preservation into the future.
Yes.
Progressives value capital present consumption and the promise of capital future. Is they make promises of the capital of the future, which is better than now. And it's largely socially constructed. It's not real capital.
Well, I think that their instinct is logical. It's just reproductive increase is always good. And in other words, it's dysgenic, and conservative is always eugenic. So I'm with you. I'm not.
Well, they're not even, I don't even think they're pro-reproduction. I think they're pro-consumption. And the promise of unrestrained is that the capital they wish to preserve is a-capitalistic. Which is they regard the capital, which you call the informal capital,
Yep.
as unnecessarily constraining of my current behavior or oppressive. So destroying the chains that bind me is not capital destruction.
Okay, so how do you want me to say it?
I'm not trying to tell you how to say anything, because it's
I
like
just need I need to,
round it.
I have a lot of points floating right now, and I need help saying, okay, which point do you want to make? What points do you want to make?
I'm merely riffing off what you're.
No, I know what you're doing, Brett. If
Right
I'm
into the
saying this
comparison.
poorly, I'm just saying, okay, how could we reduce it and help me understand? Because what I see here is I'm I'm trying to stay with what you're trying to get across is some difference in present capital, right? Value of present.
Yes. And so there's a what the conservatives call capital and you call capital, which is informal capital, which constrains behavior, is
Yes.
present capital. Conservatives wish to preserve,
Yes.
which is constraints on behavior, which the left calls chains and shackles that bind them and prevent them from misbehavior.
Yeah.
But they don't regard their misbehavior as destructive of future potential capital production.
Yeah.
And so they fail to account for that in full accounting.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessary to put it into this narrative that we're making here.
I think you're right. If I don't know how to put it in, but if you think of how to put it in.
All right. I don't want to put it in because this is just drawing the we're drawing definitions and chains of logic. We're just doing a logical argument here and not a prosecution, right?
I think we might be done.
I think so.
Oh, it's way the hell shorter than it is in the Constitution. I think there's due diligence in here.
No, I don't. I think it's included because we're measuring the testimony, and that includes the due diligence.
You're right. Okay. We don't need to go there.
Uh-oh.
I just want to close this. I mean, we've got it rock solid here. Let's just go and close this one off if we have to.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get some more coffee and pause for a second. And
Sounds
I'm
good.
only gonna pause.
That's good.
Thank you, Dr. Brad, for letting me refill my coffee. We were just discussing how we could hunt spiders and
Yep.
spiders and alligators, but you don't want to, we already finished that
And
conversation.
slugs, and
Huh?
slugs.
And slugs.
Now, do you want to finish that after?
Yeah, I'm asking, I'm actually concerned about this whole section, is that I don't like the example.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
This is interesting because it's like, what it is an example of potential, is a description of what person might testify to and the dimensions of such testimony. Right? What type of descriptions can we make? We can talk about these kind of relations using these kind of values.
Yep, that's what you've got.
So I think a little narrative there will be useful, and it might make you happier, but it might be in that.
Oh, yeah, my question is only whether we should use examples or we should just state the sequence in time,
That's suspicious.
proximity in time, the
Causal relation says it.
right, yeah, I mean, so what I'm only questioning is whether we should maintain the examples or not. I'm not really sure that's a bad idea. It's just not consistent with.
No, we agree. I agree. And I thought that was funny too, but I'm like, okay, I'm just bearing with it. I think you can decide that one on your own.
I can't skate on anything around here. I keep trying to cheat and scheme and plan and circumvent. All right, well, let's just talk about, I mean, what's there to say here?
The decision is made, right? It's a decision. Decidability is the result.
No, we're just talking about logic. So we're not producing decidability. Oh, yes, we are. Decidability of what?
Of the question
External
that
consistency. Okay.
that might be sufficient.
What did I say? First principles, textual relations, and transformation relations. Textual relations.
Contextual. It's transformational.
What did I say?
Very parsimoniously done. No, alley. Oh my. That is not right.
That's not right now.
Should say transformational relations. Thank you. Shit. Results in a decision about the question at hand, right?
Sufficient.
Yes.
No.
It's impossible, yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh, I like that. So that one could be insufficiently consistent versus inconsistent, right?
You think I should take that off?
No, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine too. Either way, inconsistent is fine,
I
right?
think it should be inconsistent,
I like that.
right? I think insufficiently sufficient and inconsistent.
I like that. Even if it makes me look weak, because I look like I'm just agreeing with you.
Nobody's gonna think that, and if anybody who watches us for any period of time is never gonna think that in a million years. So I think I should move these around. Before, during, and after?
How are you going to move them around?
I don't know.
What does that mean, move them around? Okay.
I don't know.
Either way is fine.
I like it. Fuck it. I'm gonna leave it this way. I might go back and do that more really at some point. All right. Let me warm this up if I can. Where is the Where are you? You are there. Maybe I can find you. If I look through this, maybe I can find it. Almost there. I might as well. Let's drag, if I drag this over here, can you see it?
I'm not watching right now. I'm attending to this machine.
I understand these priorities.
Maintenance. Okay, now what am I looking at?
Tell me if this PowerPoint comes into view.
Yes.
So I can find. It's not the one. Nah. Where are you? Okay, you don't want to do that. We'll do this instead. This is just for us. What the hell is it?
What is it?
Where do I define science? Way back here. I think it's here. Do you realize how much stuff we've produced?
I don't even know.
It's insane.
I would hesitate to use that term. It's just as a self-defensive mechanism. I won't deny it by any means, but I just don't think it's a good idea to admit to such things.
I thought I kept it right in front just so I wouldn't have a problem finding it. Is it here?
I had a patient that he told the ER doctor he had terrible headache, right? He said it's so bad I would prefer to die. And then he got mad when he discovered when he woke up in his hospital bedroom with a overwatcher that he was on a suicide watch. He got mad and left. You have to be careful what you say to doctors.
Right. Okay.
That was for the audience because Curt's busy and we want to break the tension.
That's right. I understand. You're
Look at
doing your
that.
job.
He fixed something in passant is what we call that. The proper term will be en passant. What is the purpose of this search?
I am trying to find, I'm trying to solve where did it go?
It's in there. It's down.
I'm trying to frame this discussion without having to reinvent the wheel.
Oh,
I just can't figure out where we should ground ourselves. This is just not right. It's there. Science. Great. Oh, I see what's going on. The fuck? How do I do it here? Oh. All right, well.
all right.
I'm going to go back to here
Oh,
and do it this way. We are trying to get across. There are laws.
okay. Right.
It's just existence. They're trying to get that across. Then language. Give me one more. So I'm just frustrated here. Let's just do it this way. If I can find it. Should be in here somewhere. It's logic. Not it. I'll give up in a minute, Brad.
I know. Or you'll be successful first.
I think that's. Did I get into language? Nope, that's it. It starts there. Logic. Logic.
Language.
Language. Fictions. Terms. Okay, so where I get into terms. Here's the dimensions, right? Yeah. Sentences. Stories. The grammars. Let's just, what is this? Command to. Command to, yes. This is what I was originally thinking, and I was wrong. Hierarchy of grammars. They just don't cover it. All right, well, I'm not going to spend any more time looking for it.
Okay.
To bring you back. All right. All right. So what's the argument I want to make here? I want to say, okay, I want to make sure we differentiate that these, I want to explain this, right? Language, right?
Yes.
Which is what are the basic things? We have the vocabulary dimensions. We have measurements, words, terms, paradigms, Grammars.
Yep.
Right, that's
Which is dimensions, right?
right. Right, so there, we went well. So,
I think terms goes before measurements.
well, I want to describe how language in general, right, is measurable. We could go down. We go down to here. We could do the dimensions here.
Oh, yeah, I want to stick separate from terms because it's a higher order than terms.
Right, so it's because it's
No, it's like,
measurement.
because I'd say language consists of terms making dimensions, making paradigms within
Making
grammars.
right? But grammars are deflationary, ordinary, inflationary.
Aren't they generally specific to a field of study? There's another term we use.
Right, so they're deflationary fields, right?
Yes.
Ordinary is just communication. And there's inflationary, which is narratives.
Right.
Fictionalisms. Accusations. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Which is interesting. Physical laws is plus, provisions, demand is behavior during, minus, and evolutionary is equal.
Or this is plus, but I didn't hear what you said.
It is a provision or supply. Yeah.
By after and right.
Equilibrium. That's close.
It's the next key over. I mean,
Yeah, it's right next door.
right next door.
That's interesting.
I guess I gotta find the order here.
Yes.
Like that. It's not. Auto association is not prediction.
Right.
It's dreaming, prediction, imagination, reasoning.
Okay, yeah, that's a deflationary to inflation, or inflationary to deflationary.
Yeah.
Imagination precedes prediction, I think. I would say, yeah, so,
You are correct, you are correct.
no, but I would say this, so you talk about as imagination. It's. Right. So, okay,
Go ahead, keep going.
I'm just, whatever title that you put there, I think imagination is right. It's like thought processes, right?
Well, I'm just trying to get, this is just unstructured, right? This has some structure to it. Right? This is, this is essentially randomness. Right?
Right.
This is essentially play,
Yeah.
right? This is observation,
Yeah.
and this is direction, right? Something, I don't know what the right word is.
Right.
Attention, right? Something, something there. Problem solving, solving.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
I would say this is the thought processes of association, right? From inflationary to deflationary.
Well, I don't know, because this is definitely thinking.
Right.
This isn't thinking.
No.
Right?
But okay.
So
It's mental processing, mental processes. Since I need a name for this. Maybe more associative processes.
yeah. I want to get, this needs to be. Just do it experiential processes.
Okay.
Do that way. Let's do that.
CRD.
Continuous recursive disambiguation. Right. Language is this process. Measurements, dimensions. Terms are collections of dimensions.
Is that true?
Yeah, they have to be.
I would say terms are terms are specific words.
Yeah, but what do they consist of?
They're organized into dimensions. Dimensions are series of words.
Names, they're names that refer to dimensions. Sets of dimensions. Well, they can be.
I want to discuss that a little bit.
Okay, let's discuss it.
Okay. So immoral doesn't refer to any other terminology. It suggests its involvement in a series of more in the moral dimension, right? But it doesn't refer to a set of dimensions.
Well, what's the moral dimension? Because everything, it's
composed of terms that are specifically defined.
right, but what does a term consist of?
What does a term consist of?
Consists of dimensions. It has to be. Everything has to be reducible to some analogy to experience. And all analogies to experience have to be reducible to sensory perception. Right. So we can't get out of it being dimension. I mean, that's what neurons do, right? They create associations all the way up. And so that's why we can do everything with vectors, because a vector determines a pattern, and patterns accumulate in dimensions, and dimensions.
That's what I'm saying. But a dimension is it follows the term.
I'm almost there. Dimension follows the term.
The term suggests a dimension. The dimension is composed of terms in a series.
Oh, I see. No, this is a common problem. Yeah. Dimensions in and of terms. Dimensions within and of terms. Okay, I got it. I see what I didn't understand. So a term consists a term sits on, it's like a number line problem.
Yes.
There's a constant relation in that a dimension consists of a measurement consisting of terms that describe the different states in a set of constant relations. Right. That's
Right,
what
but the terms describe a specific state.
Right, exactly.
So, but the dimension is composed of a series of state potentials.
Okay, so let me make a note here. Let me see how you want it. So this is of terms. So a dimension. No, it doesn't have to be possible.
States, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Terms represent. Terms refer to.
Right. Specific states.
Specific states or ranges
of states. Yep.
States on a dimension.
Right.
Okay, so this is correct, absolutely correct. So, right, so that's dimension of terms. Dimensions, okay.
So terms goes before that as measurements. Define this a particular state of constant relations.
Terminological.
Yeah.
So that's what we want, right? We want the two different things.
That's what I want.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking you were going sideways there, but you actually had a point. It does happen.
No, wait, you mark it down. I've been writing a tick mark by my name on this page.
Well, so here's the deal. You were starting with semantic dimensions first, and I was setting dimensions of terms. So these are sensory.
See, you see, it's a redundancy of terminology in this construction.
No.
There's a redundancy of terminology here, which is
Yeah,
using
exactly. Yeah, no, I agree. You're right.
two ways, and it's like, okay, we get it. That's problematic. I see.
Well, how about
Okay, so we have to get rid of that first parenthetical there in dimensions within and of. You could leave it there.
no, it's good now. So let's get into this. This is sensory dimensions.
Sensible dimensions, yeah. Yes.
Right?
Wait, they refer to those, right?
Right.
The referent.
This is okay. This is the referent.
Right.
Refer, right?
Reference.
And this is the. Let's just make sure we know this. The difference
Oh my.
between, I just don't want to confuse myself here.
I'm worried about you.
Observer, referrer, and referent.
That's quite interesting little thing to ask.
Well, it's not like I haven't done this before, but you know, it
want
gets a little muddy.
I want you to know, sir, I'm pondering back to my conversation with the editor yesterday and talking about how to talk to the AI, because it's very interesting because it saves so much freaking time.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so observer, I know what that is, right? A refer, term that denotes something else. It's
The
the word,
referrer, really,
right?
I've never heard that used that way in that sense.
Yes, and this is what, and a referent is whatever it refers to,
Right?
right?
So a referrer is a good term there. That's good.
So what if, okay, so assuming we have a referent,
Okay.
X,
Yes.
right? That consisting of set of properties.
Right.
S, right?
You took your X out.
I'm going to use X as X instead of X. And we have a referrer, R,
Okay.
and R and R is okay, and C is a category. I know what it's going to tell me. If C is a category consisting of a spectrum or that describes
Okay.
C is a category consisting of a set.
Okay. All the potential relations to
Yes.
R. Okay,
Are all of the states
yes. How peculiar.
then see another refer, or is there some other term or C? I actually don't know this answer.
It's just funny to me. Like, it's like, wow. Wow.
It's actually fairly hard to write clearly like that, and you can't do it with ordinary people. Because I used to, and they didn't like it.
It upset you too much. There was too much argumentation involved.
It's overburdening.
It's already hard. You're not making it any easier.
All right, something's broken here. It gave up. So I'm gonna stop it there.
Really,
Let's just stop it.
it broke. How upsetting.
Reference class.
Category C.
Or category. C is not typically another refers as a reference class. Reference class.
We call that a dimension. Right?
Well, that's because we're trying to be consistent at all scales.
I like that. I appreciate that. And I like that clarification for the audience. And I tip my hat to Uncle Kenny for how long I kept quiet during a lot of this.
Why did you keep quiet?
I have to keep mentioning Uncle Kenny because he deserves lots of credit. He gets lots of credit.
So explain to me what you wanted to interrupt. I just curious.
No, I just am watching you process and I'm like, I'm just gonna let Curt process some more, keep my mouth shut. You missed the S.
I don't know how smart this thing was bolding, so. All right, semantic dimensions.
Which is a, I don't even want to say it. It's okay.
What?
I don't want to say it because it's
What?
like the issue is this is the use of dimension so much is a little bit disturbing to me. Okay.
Well, so is relations.
Okay. I'm good with that.
It's the same problem, right? I mean,
I made this statement. And I was.
no, I mean, it was good for you to say it because you're probably not the only one who thought it.
I understand. I'm worried about the other people that are trying to follow, and it's like, I get it because we use the term dimension without qualifier.
So
And
let's do this, right? A dimension.
oh, that's interesting. Constant relations.
Constant to
Yes.
there's an essence, right?
Please go on.
So, not just because of a constant to variable to contingent relations that refer to senses, perceptions, associations and their derivations, while without as an identity.
Yes.
While
Right. Of the referent, right?
yes. All right, I'm gonna ask this. Let me say, okay. I'm gonna say, please,
Give us a hand.
no, please make sure this makes sense.
Oh, like I said, man, the value of this is something that the AI in this process is just something else.
Mentions. One. I don't know if it knows, 3, 4. It's gonna be boom.
Yeah. Fill in the question marks.
What the fuck is going on here?
What are you doing?
It's crashing again.
Saturday.
Maybe, possibly, likely. It also might be that this is getting long. We're better. Sorry. Uh,
Yes.
Oh, we use this one.
Hang on, I'm
The dimension is a series of states sharing common set one or more constellations. Oh, I like it. It's all possible.
yes. You forgot possible. Yes.
This is good.
Yes. It's rock solid. It's just it's stunningly deep.
Dense. Yes.
And it's not, it's like 500,000 foot view, okay?
Yeah.
Just amazing. And it's like, okay, to be able to encapsulate that linguistic understanding in a page is just amazing. And I appreciate the brevity of it. I don't think you need that terms now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
The heck happened there?
I don't know. I would see it. I see what happened now. Over ambition.
Paradigm.
Okay.
I really am pretty pleased with what we're doing here.
I am too. Okay. That's nice.
Okay, so language. This is
Ah, let it fill it in. See what the thing suggests.
it'll be terrible.
Now, I would just say using the same terminology and description.
Fascinating. I wouldn't have expected to take that approach.
Right?
It's not a bad idea. Very interesting. Excellent. This is kind of interesting, really. I want to think about this.
Specifically what?
Well, I just like including these dimensions.
Yes, and that's the value added by that
Yeah,
part that you added in measurements.
yeah,
And then it recursed back to the
yeah.
general definition, which is what was good. And it's like the paradigm is within a field, right?
Uh-huh.
The paradigm is the specific recursion within that field to make it so that the things that we refer to are more determined by association within that field.
Yes. I know what it's consisting of metaphysical terms, paradigms, terms. I don't think we're making it work that hard. Given how I feel, maybe we are.
You're right. I think it's working as hard as we are.
Just parroted it back to me.
What's that?
They just parroted it back to me.
Thought it provided some useful elements there.
Well, it just said the same shit. It just. If I hadn't prompted it, I wonder what it would have said. Now. What might be missing? It's logic.
Very interesting.
Yeah. This is, I could put that under logic. See, I don't think these are properties of it.
No.
This isn't properties. This is. I don't know if it matters.
Too deep.
It's just.
I think for the purposes we're doing, we're on a good bent here.
Yeah, I don't really see any value in here. This is really bad. Actually, some of these are bad. All right. All right, so paradigms we have.
Did we finish language? We did not.
No, this is paradigm.
I understand. You had language above it was incomplete. That's why I mentioned.
Oh, I see. I didn't put in, oh, I see. Thank you. I got lost.
That's why I'm here, Curt. I'm just a wayfinder. A beacon in the dark. Okay.
It was a dumb question because in computer science, we treat this differently. So what's the substantive difference?
Okay. Uh-huh. Shit. What a weird question, man.
It's words and arrangement.
Yes.
So how does that different?
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. This versus this. Yeah. So, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Where's the
There's the conclusion. I'm not interested in this. Like,
I'm
okay,
trying to figure out if I can get rid of syntax.
I think you can. Yes. Yeah.
Metaphysical presumptions.
Talked about it above.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going there. One more. Oh. Thought it was up there.
No, it's the next one above.
There it is. That was the first place it talked about it, I think. May be mistaken.
Yeah.
Imperceptible, right? Yeah. Should say man and not the man.
I thought it was all about you, man.
It is.
Did I get you frustrated doing that other thing there?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just here we are. Hmm. Oh, that's good. Of the language. Yep. That is not sufficient.
I know.
It's like it's the limits. Paradigm represents a limit, right? It's a limit of a limited set of dimensions within the language. Limited set of dimensions in logic.
So let's fix this. Let's do,
We define terms well below. Okay. Yep.
Let me ask it to. Do this.
Nice. Yeah.
It's better.
We can do it sometimes. That's the same. Same. I think terms goes above, go ahead.
Is this good? Is it better?
Does have that additional phrase at the end. I like it better.
You wanted me to move terms and I agreed.
Okay,
I think this is gonna go
demonstrably agreed now.
terms. Yes,
Wait, so the grammar is within a language or paradigm?
we can fix it.
Yep.
Um,
Well, it says within the limits of a given paradigm, so it's okay. That's good, it's sufficient.
Find a paradigm. Holy shit, dude.
But see, what's beautiful about this to me? There's an interesting enlightenment that comes from this work here.
Okay,
I will take the brief moment to discuss it because it's that interesting to me. Which is the if you look at the scope of the work that you are engaged in here, it is a universally commensurable language, right? And it is the issue is this: you've defined now why the language is not universally commensurable. Because of the recursions have caused them to make their own little silos, and they fail to communicate with one another because it's outside of their paradigm. And now we've defined that as the problem. And now we're rectifying the problem by going back and looking at what has occurred, which hasn't been done because it's the reason you couldn't get a PhD in this, right? There's nobody that's had the scope of work that you have created here to allow that to occur.
Takes
which
too
is
much, no, it takes too much knowledge. and too much
post-Darwinism.
yeah. Okay, so now, we said a paradigm, we wanted to, do we need to go over paradigms now?
Okay,
Measurements. We've already done, but we've talked about a grammar. We haven't talked about the grammars.
right. So we described how a paradigm functions, but we haven't described the paradigms, right?
The paradigms?
I don't know, I'm thinking of it.
No, I agree with you. So the
They all exist.
paradigms are the sets and the grammars are the
Rules for the sets.
rules.
Field-specific sets, right?
Right?
Right. I meant that the paradigms are fields, is the potential of fields specific sets of paradigms, right?
Okay, say again?
So we have the paradigms represent the potential of all field specific paradigms. And we have defined the paradigm as being field specific already, right?
Yeah.
So the paradigms is the set of field specific paradigms. Of all potential field specific paradigms. And the grammars are each specific to each paradigm, right? Right.
See, I'll just make sure I'm not making a mistake here.
Yes.
I suppose it matters. I was trying to
Right.
think what the process of creating paradigm is produced by the process of producing a grammar. A grammar results in a paradigm. In other words, the rules, like metaphysics determines
Yes.
logic and grammars determine paradigms.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. Let me write that down. We just want something. That's the right answer. So can we fix something first? Because it's bothering me.
Yes. Yes.
Measurements needs to go up here, right?
Oh,
Where does measurements go?
okay.
Why?
No, that's first. That can be first. Because it's the first thing, right?
Is it before language?
Yes.
It goes before this, right?
Yes, because it's like this. I'm doing measurements before I even start talking about it.
Yeah.
then you need to fix grammar, because grammar's in the wrong place. In the above section.
You want it to be there?
Nope, you can go ahead and do what you're doing.
I don't want to lose it.
I know, I understand. I'm like,
Forgetting
go
to
up
paste it.
the section in language. Then grammar should appear before paradigm. And then we must alter the definitions a little bit. Right? Because it's like the grammar is specific, is within the limits of the language. And the paradigm is within the grammar.
I want to kiss you sometimes.
Sometimes. Not all the time, thank you.
No, it's actually kind of, the whole man kissing thing's really gross to me. I'm sorry.
Kind of icky, right?
Yeah, that's way on the icky side for me.
Yeah, it's way icky. It's like maximum icky
I
about.
couldn't even stand kissing my father as a kid. It was gross. Kiss your father goodnight. Fuck that. Kiss him on the forehead. Yeah, it's one thing to follow all those formal puritanical military rules in your family when you have respect and care. But if you actually hate your old man, like it's painful to do the kiss goodnight, or anything like that. It was really quite painful.
Sorry, Curt. It's post-traumatic stress.
It is. Why are you the way you are? That's why. I look at my son and he's like this nice, happy, content, nerdy person. And I'm like, that would have been me if my life hadn't been so fucking difficult. Why did I have laws here? Oh. Oh no, I just did that again, didn't I? Don't want to do that.
What is that? Okay. There's something about causality to be introduced here.
Yeah.
These are causally deterministic functions.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. Hmm. Yep.
I did that without too much Brad correction.
I wanted to make one correction there.
It does happen. It does happen. I can get away with not making too many mistakes while I'm doing it.
I would say instead of laws of the universal laws.
Where are you saying this?
Second sentence, first phrase. I would say universal laws.
Is that a period or a comma?
Yes, I think a period is good. That long sentence is very long. Yep. We get rid of that we.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that's not right. Oh, there you go. There you go. I want you to know that that made it universally commensurable language. I was thinking about my training in implicit bias that I had to do for my continuing medical education self.
You did, huh?
I said, that's awfully English. Then you fixed it.
I
You're out
just
of
got a
coffee.
full of coffee grounds. Hold on a second.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think we got going so far here?
We're winning.
Hmm?
We're winning.
Now we have a half a cup of coffee left. That's not right.
We have what?
I only have half a cup of coffee left.
Oh, I'm down to water.
That's just wrong.
No, I'm happy. Uh-oh, it's time that we go to the president.
Okay, all right, quick sign off, Jesus, we're almost done, Brad.
I know.
This Curt Doolittle, Brad Werrell for the Natural Institute, it's Saturday, July 27th. We're gonna go listen to the president talk about Bitcoin, and because we're very interested and want to give a talk on it. So Brad, do your thing and I'll sign us off.
Okay, I'll do it quick because we're 2 minutes overdue. But this is time to hit subscribe, like, and the notification bell, and then leave the comments. And then, well, let's go record the president.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Wave, bye, bye, bye.